Hey, what's up? Slamming1 here with the first video in a new series to help you get your bearing in Knighthood. In this video, we'll do a high-level introduction to the game to help new players get a sense of what they're getting into. For those familiar with my written guide, I'll be going through much of the content I wrote a while back, as well as adding additional details for builds and playstyles in future videos. If I had to compare this to another game, I'd probably start with looking at a clicker idle game like Tap Titans. This isn't like that at all, but that's kind of our starting point, being that you tap on the screen to do attacks and then you have a level up system, but that's really where the similarities stop. So to give us a sense of what the game is like, we'll start with a roaming monster. This one happens to be one from the current event. And the main thing that I want you to take note of was when I showed the brief gameplay of Tap Titans, you could see that I was having to tap the screen. Similar to that, I'm having to tap the screen here as well to do my attacks. Now, you can notice that this has a turn-based element to it, so I did a few attacks and then the enemy turns around and attacks me. I have armor and HP showing at the top. You can see some buttons on the bottom that allows me to use hero abilities. So I have a little bit more control, and so the tap portion is what I was talking about that was the same, but there's RPG elements and some strategy incorporated to help you kind of figure out different ways to play the game, and you can kind of play your own way, but you gotta operate within the mechanics, of course. So this is a nice way to kind of get into it. When you start out the game, it'll start you right off in story mode, start teaching you some of the mechanics. You'll notice there's an auto button at the top. For a lot of the portions of the game, you can use that in order to quickly advance. Can be a double-edged sword. If you're not paying attention, you can end up losing the match. But this should give you a sense of what it's like to play from this perspective. The game also has a PvP component to it where you can play against other players. There's something called Guild Wars. That's a separate event. I'll cover that in a future video. Every week you do have an arena league, and you can gain rank and rewards by playing through this. This is just to give you a sense of the gameplay. It has a little bit of a different feel from what I showed you in the PvE. You do get your own minions that can help you through battle, and then you can just take turns with your opponent. It's not real time in that your opponent isn't actually playing, so when you set up your knight, you have the option of setting up your minions and your gear and all of that so that you can have a defensive setup, so that when somebody chooses you to fight, then you can get a sense of how they're going to attack and whatnot. So it's a nice mode. I enjoy playing this. You get to see a lot of different strategies and tactics for how people are playing the game, and then you can kind of play around with your setup to see how it's comparing to others and stands up to them. Now, just to give a sense of the other areas of the game, so just looking at the menu, you can see I have my gear. There's a level up system that applies both to your knight and to your heroes. You can see I have some things that are maxed out at level 70. I have others that still have a ways to go. And then you can see there's a lot of different content in here. We'll get into each of these at a future time. And then you also have morphing. So if you want to customize the look and feel of your knight as you earn rewards, you can use that to customize how your weapons or how your hero looks, or your knight looks, and that can make the game a little bit more enjoyable from a personalization perspective. Closing us out here, the game has a ton of content. There's events that are constantly rotating, so there's always something new to keep you engaged. There's a mode for every type of player, and the rotation of activities helps keep things fresh without getting you bored. And the amount of story content is pretty good. So I've been enjoying it myself. I've been playing for a few years, and I'm still learning new things. The game will require different strategies, and you'll have to adapt as you get through the story and through other game modes. So that's been really nice. It's not just you do the same thing and no matter what you're going to win. You have to kind of figure out new things as you move through the game, and that makes it a lot of fun. And then the last thing here, a lot of games require that you spend a lot of money in order to make it enjoyable at all. This game, you can spend little or even no money and you can still have a ton of fun with it. Requires a little planning. There's a little strategy that you need to do that without any spend or any significant spend, but it's definitely doable. I've created a secondary account just to test that out to see if I could do that, and it's absolutely possible. So definitely don't be discouraged if you're not wanting to whale or spend a lot of money on the game. And that is it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you got this far. And I will catch you on the flip side.